Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a FIFA 20 gameplay features deep dive analysis of all the stuff that they're going to be talking about over here. It's a very long list, so there's going to be a lot to talk about today. Again, all of this stuff is completely irrelevant if inconsistent gameplay is still a huge problem for next year's game, or if the connection is still as bad. Because I don't know, a lot of the connection issues I feel like people have with FIFA, I feel like it really comes down to inconsistent gameplay. I think you're just playing in bad gameplay, to be honest. But it can be connection as well because it's EA. They haven't really gotten that right in a lot of years. So a lot of this stuff will be irrelevant with all that stuff. I've already mentioned to the guys at EA a billion times that these features will not matter if the game is still like that. But I'm going to be reading this, man, because I hope FIFA 19 is a distant memory. I cannot wait to uninstall it from my console once PES 20 or FIFA 20 are out to make content on those games, because I genuinely don't even want to make content on FIFA 19 anymore because it's so terrible. Like, it's going to be such a distant memory in my head. But let's take a look at these from the specifics, talking wise. From EA. So, hey, FIFA fans, we are here today to share a deeper dive into some of the announced and a few unannounced features that we're bringing into FIFA 20's gameplay, parallel to addressing some of the direct community concerns coming from FIFA 19, previously mentioned here and here. Many of the new features that are planned for FIFA 20 originated from further feedback gathered from all parts of the FIFA community, including game changers, pro players, forums, and a variety of other sources across the community. These new features build upon previous FIFA and community feedback and aim to bring more realism, intelligence, and emotion to the game. Keep in mind that we're here to share the intended behavior for all of the features described, and that we'll keep on monitoring their performance as the game launches. So this is the gameplay trailer. If you guys haven't checked that out, we did do a reaction to that, so you can check that out. So they're doing this stuff in order properly now. I think Tom's the one that does this. So it's good that they do the order really nicely. Decisive moments, whatever that is, that'll be R1. Okay, so they're actually showing the specific game mechanics things here. Okay, so that's really good. 1v1 minute finishing. Do I have to have this playing the entire time? Because that's a little bit... Okay, it does play the entire time. Cool. One of the main aspects of FIFA 20 gameplay that we wanted to emphasize is within one-on-one situations. In real-life football, some of the most exciting moments derive from these types of situations, and we wanted to shine a spotlight on them. Due to the re-architecture of our positioning system, players should find themselves in one-on-one battles all over the pitch more often in FIFA 20. Both the dribbler and the defender will have more time and space to read the play and show their skills than ever before, be it a winger trying to break through the defense or a holding midfielder closing down a deadly striker. These are some of the moments that can define the advantage in a balanced game. Let me just do that because it's a little annoying to look at. Additionally, our goal for FIFA 20 is to provide gameplay that allows you to read and predict rather than a game where you can only react to your opponent. Strategy and overall understanding of football are key. Hopefully football IQ is actually important. It's one thing to say, one thing to do. To create these moments, the team focused on four main aspects: spacing, movement, game flow, and tools. Spacing and movement. The team made a big restructure of the AI positioning system, emphasizing user-controlled actions. Players on the pitch should behave more realistically than ever, keeping the space and reacting with the urgency needed for each situation. To improve unnecessary player movements and the hectic feeling of the game, players will now try to keep their formation in position, anticipating the opponent's next move instead of just going towards them. At the same time, players will still make runs and offer support when the opportunity arises. Game flow. The focus was on building a slower and more composed game off the ball. God knows what that means. While keeping it very responsive and agile on the ball. Off the ball, okay. Players will have more time to read situations and plan their next steps, putting emphasis on more tactical defending, but at the same time, players will be more responsive and faster than before, allowing for explosive runs and breakaways. Okay. So breakaways might actually be relevant again. We'll see. Tools. Achieving a one-on-one situation was the first step. The next step was to provide both sides with tools to resolve these plays. New strafe dribble, so that's the LTRT dribbling, probably. Controlled tackling, agile jockey system, new commands. The agile jockey system is what Nightwatch was talking about all the time when he was mentioning the gameplay stuff to me. He said that was like his favorite thing there. He said that the jockey is very agile. You can move left and right, transition left and right properly, that kind of stuff. But that is in relation to off the ball movement on the attack, and on the ball movement when you have the ball at your feet. Is it balanced between the two things? We don't know yet, right? So New commands, lofted ground pass. A is XX or AA. Okay, so to do a lofted pass, which is their new command, you have to press the button twice. That could present to be a problem if they do not fix inconsistent gameplay next year or they have bad gameplay. Because the only reason why people spam the button more than once is to register the actual commands. We cannot have commands disappearing next year when we press these commands, because the only reason, again, like I said, we keep doing it, I spam the pass button just to make sure that he actually passes it, right? Their commands better be good next year for these mechanics to actually work, right? Lofted ground through pass, it's triangle, triangle. So I guess you just hold in and tap it, kind of like a time finish from back in the day, right? Driven lobbed through pass is L1 R1 triangle. L1 R1 triangle. That actually makes sense. I'm okay with that. Slow dribbles L2 R2 plus left stick. So your general L2 R2 dribbling from nowadays. That's probably going to be a really relevant thing for next year's game. Probably going to be back into like FIFA 16 or 17. I think it was 17 that was the most relevant thing. Setup touch R1 RS direction. So setup touch is when you want to take a shot and you want to put momentum on the ball, not a pop shot. You don't just shoot on the spot randomly like the idiots do in FIFA 19, right? You actually have to settle the ball or you have to like roll the ball forward to actually take the shot, because that's more logical, of course. Strafe dribble is L1 left stick, so I guess it's the same as it is nowadays. Same commands, probably like a different command. Strafe dribble lock face angle, L1 R1 left stick. Lock face angle. So I guess they do it, they strafe dribble in the direction you're looking at with the left stick, I'm assuming. Goalkeeper cross intercept. Goalkeeper cross intercept. Oh, that's actually a really good feature. Oh, so you tap it and then you hold it and then they run out to try to intercept the cross. Interesting. That does give you more movement, actually, and it allows you to avoid crosses as much as possible. So I actually kind of like this one specifically. That's really nice. The tackling. So this is like the big deal, right? And this is the thing that I was making a big deal of in the actual trailer announcement. As mentioned above, to achieve our goal of recreating exciting moments, we needed to provide players with the tools for success in these situations. One of the big improvements was to make the game more responsive than ever before. You guys said that for 2 years in a row, so I don't trust you in that. We created a new system that provides players with the ability to perform last-second button input changes. It provides players with the ability to perform last-second button input changes in certain situations during passing, shooting, and trapping, where in previous years those inputs would have been too late to impact your players' actions. We created a new system that provides players with the ability to perform last-second button input changes in certain situations. Okay, so apparently it's more responsive when you do the commands, because I did a shooting thing the other day with, or the last video yesterday with Promise, and it didn't register it. So maybe they're talking about that, right? Previous years, those inputs would have been too late to impact your player's actions. FIFA 20 allows for increased fidelity with the controller and responsiveness to user reactions. Good. One-on-one controls, finish the controls, do it in game. Simple, very simple. But I don't know how that's going to work, right? Here are the tools players will have for their fingertips. Strafe dribbling. Strafe is extremely agile and responsive. Going to be a relevant thing for next year then. And by holding L1, LB, this mechanic gives players a more precise control over their movements. So maybe that's going to be like a balance between the attacking and the defending, where like you can jockey really quickly, but you can dribble really quickly. This is definitely going to be like an arcadey feel, I think, because this is not going to be really like realistic, I guess. It's going to be a lot of crab walking in different areas. But we're going to see how that works when the game actually comes out, because when they release these types of features, these features are the most relevant features to have in the game. So make sure you get ready for the L1 dribbling for, I guess, more responsive play. If it's good balance between the attack and the defense, then cool, but we'll see, right? Over the moons, this provides players a lot of creative ways to dribble, like suddenly changing direction or luring your opponent in and accelerating past them. The team also created a variation of this mechanic to allow players to perform a strafe locked to the current facing angle instead of facing the goal like the default strafe. This technique will allow for more control and precision. L1 RB for strafe to a lock face. Okay, so yeah, it's L1, it's L1 R1 acceleration essentially. Right. Okay, cool. Control tackling, a revamped system that favors manual tackling by making sure the defender trying to tackle does so in a favorable context to your team on the vast majority of occasions. Nightwatch was saying that he did get most of his tackles back, so that's a plus. We'll see how that works in the games out. I have to really stress that, man, because I've read these for like 2 or 3 years, and if your inconsistent gameplay is still there, if your unresponsive gameplay online is still there, it doesn't matter. But reading is one thing, action is another, right? I keep saying these exact same things, but I really got to stress that, right? Um, Defenders will be more successful in recovering possession by tackling the ball towards a teammate to keep the ball in play after a tackle. This one specifically is the best example. You do a slide tackle block. Look, a regular tackle, you get the ball. A regular slide tackle, you get the ball. But look at how the players off the ball react to it, right? They all stop. They start reacting to the person that has the ball now. Look, stop, go instantly in the opposite direction. Better responsiveness there. They barely do that in FIFA 19, and it's really annoying that there's no responsiveness from losing the ball and then turning instantly, right? So that's a good thing there. Um, to reward manual defending, the system also minimizes the frequency of attackers keeping possession of the ball after a successful tackle by placing more emphasis on the strength of the defender, improving the stumbles caused by tackles. To stand tackle, hold circle for hard tackles. Is hard tackles sliding tackles? This better not be in line with your clearances, because then this is going to be super annoying. The system will be less apparent when using slide tackles since they trigger as soon as the button is pressed. The system will be less apparent when using slide tackles since the trigger as soon as the button is pressed, okay? Akin to real football, once in a while the ball will bounce back to the attacker. However, the frequency of this will be reduced. Good. Have that fine line between a video game and real life. Agile Jockey, a refresh of the manual jockey systems, making it more agile and responsive when defending. This mechanic will allow user-controlled defenders to better cut off passing lanes or block a shot. The goal of the new jockey system is to encourage players to use manual defending and accurately predict what their opponent will do. L2, L2 for slow jockey, L2, R2 for fast jockey. Good, that's like the generic stuff. Composed finishing, improved one-on-one shooting consistency, creating more clinical finishing close to the goal. We already covered this new system in depth for our previous gameplay pitch notes. They better understand like what the hot box area is, what the right angles is for a video game console, because if they do, conceding goals will be fun and scoring goals will be fun. That's the most important thing. You have to concede a goal where you know where you went wrong defensively, movement-wise, right? There's so many variables to consider. That concept doesn't exist in FIFA 19. I don't even want to think of FIFA 19. The game, just thinking about the game pisses me off. R1, RB, right stick in a direction to set up your next shot. This is the settle shots, the settling thing. So hopefully pop shots, just on the ball, boom, just shoot right away. Hopefully that's just like irrelevant, because it's brainless to be able to get those on target and be able to shoot those with no thought process, right? This is a logical thing to do. Settling the ball, pushing it, and then shooting it, right? Or just doing like a regular touch to do all that stuff. So that's R1, RB. I'm going to be looking at these pitch notes when the demo drops so that I can learn these mechanics as well, right? To set up your next shot, pass. I'm going to be playing the demo a shit ton to try to understand the generic stuff, right? Ball physics. To bring more authenticity to the beautiful game, we rewrote the physics of the ball, replicating a football's real-life movements with pronounced bounces, spins, and trajectories. This improved system also provides us with the ability to create unique physics for different ball types, and we will go deeper into this talk when we talk about the gameplay in Volta Football leading up to the release of FIFA 20. The new physics will make passes feel more realistic, adding spin and creating a natural curve with the passes. Players will often see the ball bouncing off the ground after contact and subtle bounces once the ball touches the ground, which will have an impact on the ball trajectory and also when trapping the ball. Hopefully that doesn't affect the first time touches, which I don't think it will. I don't think EA is that stupid, you know? Hard passes and bad passes will have more bounces to their trajectory to demonstrate the error difficulty of the pass. Pitch, wear, and tear also influences the bounces. I don't know about that one, man. Pitch, wear, and tear also influence. I know it's a realistic thing, and I know I know that people in my chat are gonna be like, "Oh, the realistic thing." Video game concept-wise, I'm gonna see if it affects it too much. With rougher pitches increasing the ball's bounce, making it rise more and more irregularly. We're going to see how that works video game concept-wise. We will see. Shot trajectories are also improved with the new physics. Players should see rising shots, dipping shots, swerving shots, knuckle shots, and more interesting curves than ever before. These shots are contextual based on curve, power, angle, attributes of the player performing the shot. Set piece refresh. Another area we focused on was refreshing set pieces. The team received lots of feedbacks around free kicks being unpredictable and inconsistent, so we spent a lot of effort rebuilding the system for FIFA 20. The new free kick system is divided into 5 aspects: aim, position, power, spin, and timing. Aim. The first step was the new aiming mechanic. The aim now works with the reticle displayed on the goal, and players can use their pad to choose where to aim their free kicks. Position. Instead of stepping slowly around the ball and moving to different start positions, pressing the right stick to the left or right will now move the player between predefined positions: wide, normal, straight. Each position gives a certain bonus to your shot, with wide giving an increased amount of spin and straight providing an increase in spin for outside of the foot shots. Normal is a balance between both. Power. With shot elevation being determined by the aiming reticle, shot power now determines its shot trajectory. A low power shot will be more akin to a finesse shot, loopy, while a high power shot will be more driven and direct, aiming towards the bottom of the net. Will also prioritize driven shots, allowing players to shoot under the wall. Okay, good, because that's like a realistic thing to outpredict your opponent and shoot right under the wall. I haven't seen I don't think I've ever seen an under the wall free kick scored against me or for me in a football game in general. So we'll see how that works. Spin. After powering your shot, top spin, side spin, mixed, knuckleball. Interesting. Spin. After powering a shot and during the run before contact, players can now apply spin to the ball. To apply different spins, you need to perform gestures using the right stick as displayed below. The speed and accuracy of the gesture will determine how much spin is added to the ball. Timing. Players can also use time finishing mechanic in the new free kick system. I don't know about this, man. This is what might make it overpowered, because honestly, all you really need to do is go into the arena mode, go to the free kicks, and then understand your step up with your player, and then you'll get the timing down perfectly. So we'll see how that works. Allowing you to attempt to press the button right at the moment of the contact of the shot. If successful, this will reduce the amount of error and increase the amount of spin applied to the shot. If not successful, it will dramatically increase the amount of error applied to the shot. I hate this time finishing stuff, but I don't know. They did it to penalties too, right? Penalty kicks have also been improved using the same aim, power, and timing mechanics as free kicks. The big difference is that there is no adjustment to the starting position and no spin control on the right stick. Unlike free kicks, however, the players can continue to charge or change the aim of the kick throughout the run-up, allowing the last-second adjustments. I wonder if they still have like the head movement thing where you look up and then go down and then aim in the opposite direction, depending on if your game is responsive, because even when you do that in FIFA 19, you can aim to the right side and your players will not aim there, so we'll see how that works. Besides what was mentioned above, we improved all animations for free kicks, shots for both free kicks and penalties, added a few new star players, run-ups, and animations, while also removing the wall creep mechanic, which had been previously requested from feedback session with the community. These changes are meant to create more rewarding and authentic set pieces in FIFA. Other improvements. In addition to what was covered above, there are numerous other improvements made to FIFA 20 gameplay. While some improvements are more subtle and won't be immediately obvious, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Goalkeeper cross intercept. Press Y, hold Y. And the goalkeeper will rush from the goal line to the penalty mark in order to intercept any incoming cross. Good. A new feature to get rid of RNG as much as possible is a big plus for me. While that might help with intercepting the incoming crosses, it also creates a risk of the goalkeeper getting caught out of position. True. Referees in play. Referees are now permeable, and should not collide with the ball or players, preventing them from influencing the play in any way. I think they're saying that the referees are transparent now, so they don't. The ball can just go through them. I think. I could be completely wrong. Improved blocks. Improvements to reduce the amount of missed blocks and adding new animations. Lofted passes, new dinked passes when pressing the pass, ground, or through button twice, as mentioned in our first article. I wonder if that's going to work the same way as like when Messi cuts inside and he does like a little dink pass to the oncoming fullback, right? I wonder if it's going to work in that way. Ball relative switching, new switching option. Oh, they have a new switching option now. Ball relative switching, new switching option when using the right stick to switch. Players can now change their setting to perform ball relative switches instead of the classic player relative switches. This helps players that use the ball as a visual reference when switching. I'm going to try that out in the demos. I want to see if that actually works better. Removed no-touch dribble. Avoid conflicts with other mechanics and create space. Okay. Basically, you can do a drag back because they used to do that whole like no-touch dribble thing. Maybe. I don't know if that's exactly what it means. It could potentially mean that. Avoid conflicts with other mechanics and create spaces for the new setup touch. This was another topic widely requested during our feedback sessions with the community. Early lock to pass receiver. New controller settings option for passing to allow locking to a receiver early versus late. Early lock to pass receiver. New controller settings options for passing to allow locking to a receiver early versus late. Locking early allows players to change the left stick direction after the pass animation starts without changing where the pass goes. Oh, finally. I understand what this is. You know how in PES, if you guys have ever played PES, you know when you aim a pass in a certain direction, it locks to that direction and you can no longer change the direction? Now they give you the option to have two. So you know how in FIFA, even nowadays, this is a general thing nowadays. You know how in FIFA, and this, I don't know how this is going to work, and this is 100% with delay as well, okay? I wonder how this is going to work, because in FIFA, if you aim your pass to the top left, but your player hasn't made the pass animation yet, you can actually change your mind the last second and make that pass. That's how FIFA is set up right now. But it's not always working because of the way that the gameplay works online is trash, right? But that's how it works in FIFA right now. So now they gave you the option to lock to a position when you make that pass and not lock. For me personally, I'm not gonna use the lock one, most likely because I do make a lot of last-second choices with my passes. Generally speaking, it just doesn't work that well in FIFA 19 because the commands and the gameplay is dog shit, right? So we're going to see how that works for FIFA 20, but I'm probably going to keep it with me being able to make that last millisecond decision to pass to other areas. That's just my personal preference, right? Because it's more one-to-one with the commands, right? Kickoff emotions improve functionality and animations. Players are able to perform an emotion during any kickoff. Each direction performs a specific emotion. Angry towards opponent's right stick up. Angry towards team, right stick down. Happy towards opponent left stick. That's going to be toxic. 50-50 tackles addressed issues with 50-50 tackles, especially with them being triggered in dribbling situations, giving extra advantage to the dribbler when being tackled. Pass block assistance. Turning off the pass block assistance setting will now only affect the user-controlled player and not the AI-controlled player. Okay, this is an interesting one. Nightwatch was talking to me about this one too. Pass block assistance. Turning off the pass block assistance setting will now only affect the user-controlled player and not the AI-controlled players, to allow users more control for auto blocks, another topic that was requested by players during our feedback sessions. We're going to definitely be experimenting with a lot of the settings for next year's game for sure, to see which one works better. New skill moves: lateral, heel to heel, feint and exit, drag to drag, and flare roulette are new skill moves. Heel, chop, turn, and drag back sombrero are new combo skills. We're going to be trying those out when that game comes out too, because every time they release new skill moves, they're always the most effective, right? Hopefully they have defending animations down. New celebrations, and I don't care about new celebrations and animations. Thank you for the continued support and feedback. As always, we're passionate about continuing to deliver the information on how we're addressing top feedback, creating blah, blah, the FIFA gameplay team and Gabriel Zaro, and then all that stuff. So we reviewed these stuff. The pitch notes looks cool, but the pitch notes looked cool the last 2 years as well. And a lot of stuff that they talked about in the last 2 years were not implemented properly for FIFA 19. So I'm not going to keep my hopes up that much. But from offline, looking at it, it looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. The manual tackling being rewarded more and the finishing being more consistent from good angles. We'll see, being said, how that actually is in the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.